the things that actually blew my mind when I started to think about the healthcare situation is I finally summoned up the courage to read it. Not the whole statute. I don't have that kind of acute attention deficit disorder or acute sense of sadomasochism associated with reading these things. But I did get to section 101, or maybe it's 102. And what I did is I now understand what it means to say that if you like your current health care plan, you can keep it, right? You've all heard that particular promise, right? And why is it that you are making this promise in the political arena is perfectly clear. What you're trying to do is to suggest the impossible, that we can make large numbers of people who are outside the system better off without making anybody inside the system worse off. And the way in which we prove that is, you know, if you're happy with the status quo, keep it. Well, that's the basic provision. And then what you do is you decide actually what it is that forfeits that protection. And the first of the things that happens is that you can keep your health plan so long as it does not add a single other member. The moment it adds somebody else, it's not the old health plan, it's a new health plan, and it has to go through all the requirements that are associated with the exchange. So essentially, if you're a firm and your standard operation of your health plan is that you add in 10% of your workforce and drop 10% of your workforce every year, you can't do that anymore. You could just watch people and see them die off. The moment you want to add anybody in, you then have to get the standard kinds of approvals to be listed on the exchange. And the same thing is true not only with changing members, but with changing prices and changing terms, all of which are perfectly routine events. So, I mean, I actually take this very seriously. If that section means what it says, and I fear that it does because it's not that hard to read, the entire promise is a giant sham. Essentially what happens is everybody thought that you could continue your plans in their normal sequence of operation. Now it turns out that what can happen is whatever it is, that exact thing you could keep, but the normal evolution that takes place with a probability of 100% in any of these contexts now forces you back into the regulatory system. So this is essentially announcing in bold print something which is to put you at ease and taking away with private print, the small print, everything that it's given.